Well, welcome to EFTM. You've caught me sitting here watching the Today Show in the morning, but I'm watching on the Samsung Neo QLED. This is one hell of a magnificent TV, and I want to show you three things: multi-view, gaming, and just talk about the quality of the experience with the Neo QLED. Now, what you're looking at here is one of the best TVs you can buy, especially from Samsung. Straight off the bat, you'll probably notice the lack of almost any border around this screen. So I'm currently watching some stuff on the Samsung TV Plus channels, and you'll see, I'll show you here, look at this. Just look at how far the picture comes to the edge. It's ridiculous. It is a borderless experience. You think about how important that's been for mobile companies over the last few years to create these full screen devices. That's the most eye-catching thing about this TV. Now, around the edges, speaker outputs, so that you're getting an amazing acoustic sound from a sound system that is probably unlike any other built into a TV. I've paired it with a Samsung surround sound system, so you're getting actually a combination. What you can do is output through the TV and the soundbar, which is quite mind-blowing. So this is an 8K TV, and no, I haven't watched any 8K content, but that doesn't matter because the power of the TV is that it can upscale almost anything. Now, this is a streaming TV channel. I watch the free-to-air via live stream, so they're probably only 720p, being upscaled to 8K. And yeah, I've watched some pretty serious 4K movies, 4K content on all the streaming services because, of course, Samsung TV, all the streaming services are here, like Stan and Netflix, all easily accessible, all installed, all great to go. And the 4K quality is exceptional. But I think what's a little bit more interesting is some of the extra features that you get with a TV like this from Samsung. And let's talk about Samsung phone owners, the multi-view experience. Now, multi-view is something you can initiate from your phone. And I do that here in the menus, and I just open up what they call Smart View. And when I open up Smart View, what it does is it finds compatible devices in the room. And I click on the Samsung TV, click Smart Share Start. I've already used this before, so there's no agreement required on the TV, but you'll see now my phone, and I'm watching my phone and my TV. So obviously we could watch TikTok videos, scroll through TikTok videos while we're watching TV, right? Crazy, simple, silly. And you know what? I'll be honest, think about this. Think about watching the cricket. Now I've turned the phone off and it's automatically gone into lock mode. So power the phone on with my fingerprint, open straight up. You could be watching the Ashes test match, you could be watching a 5-day test match, you could be watching a Formula One race, you could be watching anything on the TV while also scrolling through, say, social media. You could potentially watch gameplay on YouTube and game on the left-hand side. Now, it's not just the phone that you can multi-view. So this multi-view obviously is a complete mirroring of my phone, as you can see here. So everything from my email to whatever you need is available here. You are literally seeing what is on my phone. So that's using a Samsung Galaxy Flip. And again, if I shut it, it'll go into lock mode and I can now initiate kind of getting rid of that. I can exit, or I can now swap out what is in this view. But let's just exit for a minute and show you what you can do with this from a kind of picture-in-picture perspective, old school TV viewing. It's actually kind of fascinating to me that you used to get TVs a lot that had picture-in-picture, but these days it's a very rare thing. So I think this is great to see it coming back. Now, there's a multi-view button on the remote, and what that has is kind of saved presets. So if I, for example, had a situation where I know that I want to pair my mobile, or I love watching YouTube side by side with what I'm watching, I can save presets. Well, let's just open up and add a view here with the Samsung TV Plus, and let's put side by side my Fetch TV box. So that's a HDMI input on one side and the Samsung TV Plus on the other. So these two are happening in real time. Now, I'll turn the volume up for a second. What happens is you can flick between them. Just with a simple arrow, you flick between them. So basically the screen that has the blue around it is the screen that is audio. Now what you can also do when you're watching is you can click on one and you can make it bigger. So you see here, change screen size option. What that does is makes this one the bigger of the two. Now I measured this earlier. This is a 75-inch TV. I got the tape measure out. That's a 50-inch TV, 49 something. just by my tape measure. Imagine having a 50-inch TV inside your 75 that allows you to watch something else at the same time. I mean, it's awesome. So we can do things now like go back to the other mode, or we can set this as a legit old school picture-in-picture. So you'll see here now we've got the Samsung TV Plus live channel playing in the back and the HDMI input here up the top, and I can move that to any of the four corners. So I'm going to put it down the bottom corner and click OK. So we've now got a legit picture-in-picture, really easy way to watch a couple of things and enjoy that. We can switch between them, so they're flipped there, very easy. Look how quick that happens. Or we can go back to the separate view. So switching between them, so many things you can do with multi-view. The multi-view and smart view, smart sharing from your mobile phone, I think is the most powerful of them all. And when we exit this, it'll show you here, you can save this. So you don't have to show this menu all the time, but we can save this as, say, HDMI plus TV plus. You know, you can choose how you want to save and what you want to show. Very, very cool, very easy to use. Now, you've got an Xbox Series X, you've got a PlayStation. Let's have a look at game mode on the Samsung Neo QLED. Let's fire up Forza Horizon. You'll see at the top, game mode on. So that's good news. We're good to go here. So it's a magnificent picture. Let me be clear. We are talking about here, you know, a 4K output that is beautifully upscaled to 8K. Now, one of the things you'll get in this TV is what they call game mode. I'll try and drive while I'm doing this. So I push and hold the pause button. It'll bring up the game mode menu. Now, on an Xbox or a PlayStation, there's a couple of things you can't do. If you have a PC input, you can adjust the screen position, and you can also adjust the aspect ratio, the output that you want. So, for example, with a PC, you might actually want an ultra-wide experience rather than using 16:9 and get a bigger viewing angle. So on like a Formula One car, you want to see more around you, that kind of thing. Or in a FPS, you want to see more of the world around you. And on a PC, you can do that. In this one, you've got really basic modes, but let's just go with the simple stuff here, the default settings, and have a look at what it is showing. So what it shows on the screen down here is what's set up. Now, what's fascinating is you'll see it switch when we were in the basic menus. It was on like 60 frames per second. And if we go back to the Xbox main menu, you'll see with the Xbox main menu, it's outputting at 60 frames per second. I'll bring that menu still there down the bottom. So it's now outputting at 60 frames per second. But when we go into the game, because of variable refresh rate, it's able to adapt immediately and give me 120 frames per second. So you'll notice here the Xbox is still outputting 60 frames per second because it knows that it's a blank, boring screen. As soon as I go into drive mode and accelerate, it jumps up to 120 frames per second very, very quickly. So that 120 FPS is, you know, that's what you want to get that great picture quality, especially in high moving content like a racing game, a sports game, or a first-person shooter. So game mode enhances the picture. It's all about making sure you're getting the most from the console that you invested in. And I think that you'll struggle to misunderstand there that you're running the output correctly. And most importantly, you'll be able to check that you're getting the right settings, because you've got to remember when you set up your Xbox and PlayStation, you've actually got to tell it what settings and optimize the output so that it's doing the most and giving you the best picture. So look, overall, I honestly can't fault this TV. Now, if you're wondering what Neo QLED is, you've probably heard a lot about QLED over the years. Samsung's done a great job in promoting that. The Q is the quantum dots. Across the screen is a ultra fine layer of quantum dots that enhances the picture, enhances the quality of the color. But most importantly, what's behind that, so you've got a quantum dot layer, then you've got the LCD panel, which is the kind of the actual pixels. But behind that is light shining through. So that's what actually gives you the picture that you're seeing here. Now that's called backlighting. Now the thing about backlighting is, over the years, TV companies have done a great job in changing the way we backlight TVs. They used to be edge-lit, so there was a light on the side that would shine in, and then they were backlit, and then they moved to what they call array, full array dimming. So there was smaller and smaller little LEDs behind individual parts of the screen. We got to a point where in the last couple of years, they were basically down to like a 5-cent piece, a little LED the size of a 5-cent piece. So if the top corner was dark, those LEDs would not be on, and these would all be on. But the problem is that's still not perfect. If the light, if this little LED is shining a light that big over picture that is black and color here, then there's going to be a bit of bleed of color into the black. So what they've done is they've implemented micro LED technology. That is what you get in the Neo QLED range, which means that there are, in a space like this, there's thousands of LEDs, and they're able to light up a finer part of the screen to give you a much better contrast and black ratio. This is a stunning TV. No point beating around the bush. This is a very expensive TV. This is a $9,000 TV, but 75 inches at 8K with mini LED, 120 frames per second variable refresh rate, game mode, and all the amazing features like the multi-view. It's actually a solid investment. A lot of people are investing in a TV because you want a TV that's going to outlast itself. And that means that you're going to get, you know, a solid life out of this when 8K content maybe starts coming on streaming and all that kind of thing. You're going to be able to take advantage of that, but you've already got the advantage of watching even the worst quality YouTube will look great on the Samsung Neo QLED. This one, I love it, mainly because of that beautiful millimeter thin border all around the outside.